What's up guys, it's Gage from ARG, and yeah, we finally got it. We finally got the brand new ban list. Effective from April 11th, 2016 to whenever, we finally have the brand new Forbidden and Limited list released to us. So if you're actually watching this video right now, the Forbidden Limited list should be in effect. So let's just go over the changes and see exactly what happened to the format and just kind of, I guess, discuss what changes have been made. So going through it right off the bat here, with Performance Damage Juggle and Performance Plus Fire, I'm just going to lump this all together and say, if you guys watch my Forbidden Limited list, the adjusted list video, all the adjustments made on that list are now effective in the April 11th list. So anything from like Plain Teller Knight, Potamlayas, again, Damage Juggler, Push Fire, Skull Crobat at 1 and everything, that is all now in effect on this list here as well. So if you guys want to go hear the opinions on those, you guys can go check that out on the other video. I actually have it linked down below for you guys if you want to check out all my thoughts on the adjusted list. But there has been things added on top of it that really make this list unique of its own. So I'm going to focus more on those changes, but all those changes are now on this list as well. So like I said here, Teller Knight, Ptolemaeus, that's part of it too. But then we get into stuff that changed, and the first thing that hits here is Chicken Game is now forbidden. That is a huge jump. In my opinion, this definitely was to hurt the Monarch FTK deck. Rightfully so. That deck is absolutely stupid. So having the card forbidden outright, I think, was a smart move. Whether the card or not was worth being forbidden, I don't know if that's, I think that's a huge jump. I think because it's synergy with Pseudospace and everything, it's an infinitely better form of a card like Upstart Goblin, which is also conveniently on this list at 1 too. So having the card Chicken Game getting removed, you can't use it, pair it with Pseudospace or anything like that either. So I think maybe going from 3 to 0 might have been the smartest move we have. This indirectly hits decks like any deck that actually would use Chicken Game as a form of consistency. One that I can think of is the Power Rangers deck. Those guys are hit because of the Chicken Game going to 0-2 because they really needed the 3 Upstart, 3 Chicken Game to really help their consistency out to get out their big Magnus dude. So that indirectly hurts them too. So Chicken Game all the way to 0 hurts FTK, thank God, and it hurts really any deck that wanted to use it to boost up its consistency. Moving on farther down here, we have another card that actually I'm more disappointed about than I think anybody else, and that's Wavering Eyes actually going to Forbidden. I really liked Wavering Eyes as a card just because I think in a lot of game scenarios, it proved who was the better player that could play around Wavering Eyes. You know, little interactions like having Ignister spin back your own Pendulum Scales, bouncing back scales with Zephyros and everything. It was those little type of things that really set the yourself apart from your opponent, and you know, reading when your opponent would have Wavering Eyes, working around the back row and everything successfully, you know, dropping a Dinosaur before you pop back row or something like that. It was just little interactions like that that I really felt like separated the good players from the bad players. So Wavering Eyes was more of a skill-based card, but I do understand, I can definitely see why it goes, because if you don't have those little interactions, if you're working around set Wavering Eyes, and you pretty much have no way to work around it at all, like all you can do is set your scales and just hope your opponent's stupid enough to not activate their Wavering Eyes. I can understand the problem with that. So Wavering Eyes being an obscenely powerful card, I can definitely see it going to 0. A lot of people wanted this, and I do definitely think it was definitely well deserved. It was at 1 in the OCG too, which I thought was a pretty major hit too. But again, a giant blowout card like this, I do see why it goes to 0. It does help, I think, other Pendulum decks that aren't Draco Pals, decks that really don't have too much of a recovery standpoint. I definitely do think it helps those other Pendulum decks really maybe stand a foot in the meta here, just because having the scales blown out by 1 card was really devastating. So now being able to work around that, being able to at least have scales that stick, not until it gets blown away by something like Twin Twist or something if people plays that, I think that definitely helps a lot. So definitely having Wavering Eyes from Forbidden, I can see why a lot of people are excited about that. I'm a little bit disappointed myself, but hey, I can definitely see it, and I can definitely sympathize with it. So Wavering Eyes all the way to 0 from 3. Pretty much, I feel that. So moving on to the limited cards. Again, lesser Pendulums on here. Perform on Monkey Board, Skull Crobat, Joker. But one of the new cards we have is Wisdom Eye Magician going to limited. I really don't know how to feel about this. This is how it's been in the OCG too. It's limited in the OCG. But the thing is back when we had full power Performa Pow, this was made on the OCG list. Wisdom Eye was already at 1 before then. But we had Wisdom Eye Magician at 3 through the entire full power Performa Pow movement and everything. So having it limited now just seems a little bit off target. Like I think it just actually rather hurts the potential of maybe Draco Pals or something past the major hits we have now. I just don't understand it. I think it was a little awkward of a hit. It should have been something done maybe last list No, actually, we didn't even have a structure deck released before the last list. So I just think actually this card should have been left alone. It's just a strange hit to me, and I don't understand it. Wisdom Eye Magician, I don't think deserves to be at 1. But hey, it is what it is. I think they're just a little late on the call, a little late on the draw, and it doesn't make any sense. So moving on, we actually have Elder Entity Norden at 1. A lot of people complain Instant Fusion was the problem, and I can definitely agree with that, because actually looking down 2 spaces down, we have Thousand Eyes Restrict coming back to 1 from Forbidden. So now Instant Fusion, I guess, has a makeup target that wasn't really a Norden. I knew when I played Elder Norden and Entity Norden, I would always play 1 copy of Norden anyways, and 3 copies of Instant Fusion, kind of like the thing where people would do with maybe 1 target, like 1 Gem Knight Garnet, 3 Brilliant Fusion, because you could still shuffle it back with a Daigusto Emerald or something if you really need to. So having the 1 target was really enough. But I kind of went with that kind of philosophy too. So I can definitely see why Instant Fusion was the problem, because Instant Fusion was your reason to get into Norden like that. But, I mean, having Instant Fusion at 3, only 1 Norden to work with, and now we have Thousand Eyes Restrict as that 1 card removal. I think Instant Fusion just becomes a little bit more flexible, if anything at all. So I think that's a little bit neat, I guess. I don't think Norden to 1 really will do too much to actually hurt the playability of Instant Fusion. If anything, having Thousand Eyes Restrict as a card makes Instant Fusion even more playable. So, I don't know. I like Thousand Eyes Restrict as a card. I think it was a really cool thing to bring back. I think there was a lot of talk amongst the community about how cool it would be to have the one card really removable in the form of Instant Fusion. And I think Thousand Eyes Restrict will just give us that. So, I think that's really neat. Works around cards like Beatrice and everything. I like it a lot. It's a really neat idea, and I definitely want to see what Thousand Eyes Restrict will do. Another card we have limited is Ignister Prominence, the Blasting Draco Slayer. There was talk amongst community. This is definitely something that had to at least go to 1. You couldn't put it to 2 because that's all people really played. And if you were trying to play around 3, it's like, what were you doing? So it was either 1 or none. So having Ignister at 1, I think is definitely at least a pretty minor hit at the most too, because I guess now it stops your playability with bringing out Ignister just to be able to use it as a segue to make a rank 8 monster, like a Hope Howlbringer, because you might want to use your Ignister more sparingly to be, rather than just making it a rank 8 material, because Ignister is a powerful card in its own. Non-targeting removal is something you want to definitely keep at hands, because I just think it hurts, actually, if anything, it hurts the playability of Luster Pendulum even more, because now Luster Pendulum, after you already Synchro Summon once, Luster Pendulum becomes practically useless unless you're bringing out a Dinosaur. So maybe playing 2 to 3 Dinosaur maybe just 2. 2 Dinosaur might be the more go-to choice for players. But I definitely think Ignister, I didn't think it had to be hit, but it was either a 1 or none type of thing if it was to get hit, and definitely having it at 1 is a lot better than having it at 0. So I can see that, and I guess it's okay. I mean, I still don't think it hurts the playability as much as this other card we're seeing here, which is Draco Face Off, also limited. Really disappointing. This card definitely had to be hit in some form, though. This card's absolutely absurd. A lot of players like to consider it a +2, just because you're able to utilize the resource that ever goes to the extra deck. You're able to utilize it immediately anyways, so pretty much you're just pulling 2 cards out of your deck at that point, and it's an absolutely powerful card. Having it at 1, I definitely think that's absolutely necessary. The card is a powerhouse card, and it is definitely something that can actually turn the tide of the game. It really makes combo plays that much more potent and everything. So if you have it, you go off. It's a card like 1 for 1, if you will. If you have a card, you can go off into ridiculous combos. But if you don't have it, you can still just hopefully facilitate your combos in other ways. So Draco Face Off, having it at 1, definitely necessary. I might change up ratios with Master Pendulums and Vectors. Maybe people will start playing 1 Vector now, or 1 Rector when that guy gets released. I definitely could see that being a thing with Draco Face Off at 1. Moving on a little bit farther, we have a Reasoning at 1 as well. Reasoning at 1, this is a little awkward. It hurts Infernoids indirectly, and it also hurts Cosmos indirectly, but barely. Cosmo really dodged this list here. They did a fine job of making Cosmo still just as good as they were. So Reasoning to 1 actually really just hurts nothing but Infernoids in my eyes, which is a strange hit because Infernoids haven't done anything. So I felt like it was supposed to be an indirect hit towards Cosmo, but it just didn't work. They missed the mark completely when it comes to that. So I don't have anything else to say with Reasoning. I'm just confused. And then Upstart Goblin to 1. This is disappointing. I mean, the card was at 1 a long time ago, many moons ago, but now we see it back at 1 again. I just feel like this is going to actually make deck building a little bit more different. because Chicken Game and Upstart Goblin, all these consistency building cards, are gone. Maybe we might see staples like maybe like a Book of Moon or something start making their way into the main deck again to replace it, or maybe just more cards that actually build towards combo. I don't know. Hey, but seeing Upstart Goblin go and everything, I definitely think it doesn't hurt combo decks as a whole necessarily, but it definitely does shake up deck building a little bit. I don't even know if playing the one Upstart Goblin will be actually technically worth it. We'll just have to see how decks get built from now on. So that's pretty interesting. Upstart Goblin at 1. Patrick Hoban must be upset. And then moving on to the semi-limits, we have Debris Dragon. I really don't have too much to say about this. It should be a 3, honestly. But hey, it's making its way up slowly but surely. And then we have Allure of Darkness semi-limited. This is something really interesting too, because Burning Abyss actually didn't get touched literally at all. Like, Burning Abyss didn't get anything touched. So having Burning Abyss have 2 Allure of Darkness just literally makes PK Fire a much better deck. And that's ridiculous. Like, I really don't have too much to say for that, because it just didn't make sense to me how they made Burning Abyss a better deck. It didn't make sense. But sure, I guess the best deck in the format is only going to get better at that point. So, hey, PK Fire, Allure of Darkness at 2. I think it'll work out pretty well. So I'm just seeing this card going back to 1 literally after the format. The card's just going to be too powerful. Consistency building, Allure of Darkness is probably one of the best draw cards, I want to say, in the game, but that's a little bit far of a stretch. So Allure of Darkness, really strong card, and I definitely see this going back to 1 ASAP, kind of like the Snatch Steal method. But then we have Emergency Teleport semi-limited as well. This is probably literally the only hit to Cosmo, and it's definitely not even close to a major hit. It's just not like, again, they missed the mark. Like, if they limited Emergency Teleport, I definitely think that would have been a much farther stride forward, but semi-limiting it just doesn't nearly do them enough in my eyes. So, yeah, I mean, I guess, but Cosmo really is still going to be probably one of definitely the top decks. Really, it's just the format, looking at it, besides this list here, I'll go over these in a moment, is just really everything except Draco Pals. Draco Pals is still going to be a deck, don't get me wrong, but it's going to be a lot of those cards. It's going to be all the other top tier decks, and Draco Pals maybe drop down a little bit. Moving on to the Unlimiteds, we have Dark Magician of Chaos, no longer limits. I've been preaching this forever. It should have been done a long time ago. Now with its errated for some reason, shouldn't have even been errated. It's now, I guess, not even playable at anything. I wouldn't play it. Tragodia is now at 3. I didn't even remember this thing was on the list for a while. I don't see it seeing any play either. And then AVA, Advanced Ritual Art, is now at 3. I actually like this a lot. In lieu of the Ritual Draco Pal guy, I don't know what it is, Draco Slayer guy, it's a Draco Overlord. I definitely feel this card's going to see a lot of play. If you haven't actually considered teching it, the guy that skips your opponent's main phase, it's a pretty good idea. I'm definitely looking into it. And Advanced Ritual Art at 3 is definitely the go-to ritual card for this. Really excited to see this card come back to 3. And then Crush Card Virus back at 3. It didn't do anything at 1, but I don't know if maybe because it's at 3, pulling 3 cards out of your opponent's deck seems a little bit powerful. Maybe since we can do it consistently now, it might see play, but I'm not quite sure. I don't know. I think Crush Card Virus just lost a lot of its potency with the erratas done to it. But yeah, that is the Forbidden list for April. Pretty exciting stuff. I actually like the changes, most of the changes a lot. I'm kind of upset that all the top tier decks didn't get hit as much as Draco Pals did. It's kind of upsetting, but hey, we'll just see how the format shapes up and everything. Like I said before, I think it's just going to be really everything except Draco Pals. Draco Pals is going to still be a top tier deck, don't get me wrong. A lot of people are already calling the deck dead, but it is far from it. I just feel like it's going to be dropped down a peg or 2. But let me know what you guys think of the Forbidden Limited list. Do you guys like the changes? This will be in effect for all Circuit Series moving forward. A lot of people still question me on whether the ARG list is in effect. No, it hasn't been in effect since the championship, the national championship last year. So it hasn't been in effect since then. All Circuit Series will be using this Forbidden Limited list. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of the April 11th list. And yeah, if you guys want to buy or sell product, if you want to attend live events, and if you want to read articles from the top players, alteratigames.com is a place to go check out. Be sure to like our Facebook fan page and subscribe to our Twitch stream if you haven't already. But as always, I thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll catch you guys next time. Gage from ARG, signing out.